Hey, what's up? GW coming to you live. First of all, we've had a very, very hectic holiday, sort of December, holiday season, December, whatever you want to call it. Uh, and I know tonight is New Year's Eve, so I figured I'd put one last video out before we start on the new year. And we are going to try to do, as we say every year, more videos, more movie reviews, and a bunch of other stuff. So let's just, for a minute, let's just recap, you know, some of the things that's been going on with me so that you guys understand why I have not been on. The last video I dropped, I was in the middle of bronchitis. Turns out I had bronchitis and RSV, and that's not a good combination. In fact, that was one of those things that during in the middle of it, I actually wanted to die. I thought I was going to die. It was that painful and that messed up, and I just I didn't think I was going to make it through because those two things combined are pretty nasty. And there's a lot of stuff going around, guys, so I hope you guys don't catch whatever it is going around. Second thing is over Christmas, we've had one hell of a bad ice storm. So we didn't go anywhere. We didn't really do anything. I did watch a few movies, which I'll cover here in just a sec. And it really didn't feel like Christmas. We've also had one of the worst things happen in our neighborhood. We had our local convenience store burned to the ground on Christmas morning. And everybody who lives where I live is upset, shocked, and saddened by, that tragedy, I guess, is lack of a better word for it. It really put a damper on everything else that you did on Christmas Day. So you could get the best present in the world, but when you came home, you walked in your door, you smelled smoke, and you look over to where the store used to stand, and it's heartbreaking, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I've been in there many times. I know the owner. In fact, he's a pretty cool cat, and I've known him since I moved in. And honestly, he will tell you that we are probably the nicest people in the history of people. And, that compliment, was said constantly, but I'm glad that he thinks that way of us. And we're going to do whatever we can to try to help out not only the owner of the store, but the families, you know. So that's that. Let's see, what else? Still got a barking cough. As far as movies go, guys, I did watch a few good ones. Most notably, Violent Night, the David Harbour, John Leguizamo, Beverly D'Angelo movie. It came out, and it's a pretty cool movie. It takes Home Alone, Die Hard, The Ref. Let's see. And basically puts it in a blender and creates one hell of a cool story. You're gonna have to see it. It's amazing, and it's really violent, and action fans will love it. I actually just got done watching it, and I gotta tell you, it really surprised me. So check out Violent Night. It is now playing on Amazon Prime. You can get early access to it. The Blu-ray comes out in July. Of course, they'll probably change the date. Very cool movie. Very action oriented. Very cool. And David Harbour is awesome in it. So is John Leguizamo. What else did I watch? As far as top movies of the year, I want to say that Terrifier 2 was probably the best horror film underneath the Pearl and the X movie that was released earlier this year. Trying to think of what else. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but I've been up since 2:30 and it is now 5:30. So guys, I'm sorry if my chronologically, enhanced brain as far as movies go is not ticking well. Another movie that I'm curious to see is Babylon. Now, you might have heard about this movie. It's about it's the Brad Pitt picture where Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, where it's the end of the silent era of movies and they are going into talking. And this movie created a buzz because apparently this movie deals with wild orgies, heavy drug use, and just deviant type behaviors. But it looks pretty awesome. It's got a cool cast. And I pre ordered it from Amazon. So hopefully, whenever I see it, I'll give you the full review. Critics have been all over the board about this film. They either love it or they hate it or they really don't know what to think. But I don't listen to critics. You know, if it's something I like, I like. I don't care what somebody says about it. So we're going to check that out. So that's a notable one to check out. As far as movies coming out in 2023, we are guaranteed another Fast and the Furious movie, the second to the last entry, I do believe. Which I'll probably be checking that out. My wife and I really do like those, even though they are pretty outlandish. There is another Martin Scorsese, excuse me, Leonardo DiCaprio film in the works, but it's only for Apple TV. If you guys remember, a couple years ago, Robert Scorsese actually put together a movie for Netflix called The Irishman, which was one of the best movies that I have seen, bar none, hands down. It ranks up there with The Godfather. Let's see. There's a few other movies that are coming out, but as of right now, I can't think of anything noteworthy. Those are the only two. Oh, there's another Marvel movie, The Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. It's coming out. Marvel was doing Phase 3. Phase 3 or Phase 4, I can't remember. I think it's Phase 3. So they're going to probably be unleashing a lot of, Marvel movies coming down the pike. And just in general, I hope that this year, coming up 2023, is a hell of a lot better than this year. Because, let's face it, guys, we've dealt with the backlash of COVID. We've dealt with, just in the recent months, the triple pandemic, the RSV, the bronchitis, the stomach flu. We've dealt with higher gas rates around here. We've dealt with food shortages in some states. Inflation shooting up the rocket. I mean, it was just a bad year all around. And not to mention, we lost a lot of celebrity people. We really did. Like Kirstie Alley, and some other celebrities, and it's just been a bad year. I mean, it hasn't been a great year, but far from the worst year. And I do apologize. Like I said, I wanted to come out here and make more reviews, but things happen, guys. Real life smacks you in the face sometimes, And my wife's mother, she's not doing that great. And all these things kind of pull you away from, enjoying yourself. And then, of course, with December, the holiday rush. I mean, we try to get our Christmas shopping done before December. This year was a little bit different. And then, nobody wants to be out there, And then the road conditions were horrible. Excuse me. And it's just been crazy. Also, before I forget, there is another Scream movie coming down the pike. And I believe Neve Campbell is reprising her role as Sidney Prescott. So that ought to be something to check out. And I want to thank, too, a lot of my fans, subscribers, Casey, Emily, all my people over in where I work, the people that really appreciate me, I just wanted to thank. Because I had an incident happen, probably about a month ago, maybe, where someone who I thought was cool with me decided to tell lies about me. Well, ever since then, I do not talk to that person. I'm not going to name names on this forum because I don't want to point fingers. I just want to say, you know what, if you're a real friend, and you've been down with me and you're cool with me, then I really appreciate it. It's the people that lie about me, that don't even know who I am, that go ahead and talk all this crap about me, then you know what? Go ahead and do it, dude. Because you ain't hurting me. You know what I mean? There's been people in my family that have treated my wife like crap, and I don't even do it. I just say, you know what? Act like they're dead. And that's the easiest thing to do because you don't have to engage with them. If they're dead to you, whatever they do in that room, whatever they say, you totally ignore, whatever. Done deal. And that's all the time I'm going to spend about that. But we made it through another year, and I know a lot of people are going to parties tonight, and I know a lot of people are going to be having fun, and I just want everybody to be careful, because I know this is a night where everybody like to get drunk, everybody like to act a fool, but y'all need to come home safe, you know what I'm saying? So, just wanted to say to have everybody to have a happy new year, and my 3 best movies of the year, okay? Horror films, it was a toss-up, like I said, between Terrifier 2, which was labeled the most controversial horror film of 2022 because of the gross-out sequences, which, by the way, you can buy that on Blu-ray or you can check it out on Screambox.com if you have a subscription. Amazon has it. You can buy the Blu-ray for, I think, $20. It's not bad. I really dig it. And there is going to be a Terrifier 3, guys. So if you think 2 was just the best, you can't. Next year, Damien Leone has actually said there is a 3rd film in the works. Speaking of movies in the works, my wife, and this is crazy, my wife was on looking up her Google News. And I know I made a video about this some time ago. And I talked about the Goonies too. And I told you that when Chris Columbus died, basically the script went with him. Nobody had any interest in doing it yesterday. And I am not kidding. And I hope to God this is not a hoax. There was an article that the Goonies 2 is now in production. And everybody that was from the original cast is going to try to be, they want to be in this movie. I know Corey Feldman, my man, has been an active advocate about getting a sequel in the works, and the original script, the original idea for a sequel was to have the Goonies all grown up, right, and have their kids go on a treasure hunt with them following to sort of relive the first film, but also to give a new experience to their kids. Their kids would have a new experience, I guess I should say. And when I first heard about it years and years ago, I was jacked. And then, of course, we didn't get a sequel. We got the Goonies versus the Mice for Nintendo, aka the Goonies 2. Or the idea was to have Mama Fratelli. She passed away in prison. God rest Anne Ramsey's soul. She was a great actress. Very, very wicked woman, but probably with a heart of gold. She was on such movies, like I said, as Throw Mama from the Train, The Goonies, a couple other ones. But the 2 remaining Fratelli brothers were supposed to break out of jail and then chase the Goonies and again get into some kind of treasure sort of adventure, Indiana Jones style. That was the other floating script that's been around Hollywood. So I hope if there is a sequel to this film that they take the ideas from those 2 scripts, combine them, and then make one hell of a project. But again, if it's right in development, if it's early stage in development, we're looking at least maybe 2 years away from this film. But I know all the original cast members are going to be on board because they have said that from the beginning, and it would be great to see, like I said, Corey Feldman, Jeff Cohen, He Hu Kwan, and Marsha Plimpton, and all them come back together and reprise roles that were iconic to my generation as a kid, and that would be great. So keep your eyes open because there might actually be a real potential sequel in the works. So I just wanted to share that with you before I forgot. And as far as we're not doing any New Year's plans, we're just gonna hang out, chill out, getting over being sick, and it sucks. But I just wanted to say, thank you to all my subscribers, to everybody who's checked out a movie with me, for me, watched me, Casey, Emily, everybody that's down with me, except for those few people, which I ain't going to name names. I just want to say thank you, because you're the reason my channel still goes. And I appreciate it. I mean, I go to work and people come up to me and go, Greg, you did a great review. Thanks. Hey, check this movie out. And I also want to say something. So, before I got off topic, I was telling you about my 3 picks for the year. So we have horror films. It's a toss-up between Terrifier 2 and May and X. I count them as one movie because it's sort of a saga. That's one movie. So, action adventure. I know I'm going to go off topic here, but it's got to be Top Gun Maverick, because that movie blasted all box office expectations. And even for me, who didn't see the original or who knows little about it, I really thought that was done really well. My wife actually loves Tom Cruise, and speaking of that, there is potential for a 3rd Top Gun movie. Now, I told my wife, I said, look, there's number 3. Hopefully Tom Cruise makes a number 3, and then that's it. Because the boys got to step away, Because at some point, a 90-year-old guy flying a fighter jet is just not believable. So you got to stop it when it's believable. You know what I'm saying? But Top Gun Maverick was a very, very good movie. Very moving, and it shattered my expectations. It was a very good movie. It recaptured the iconic essence of the 80s. And basically just, annihilated the box office. And apparently there's a flair for the 80s. So hopefully one more movie's in the works. But it was very incredible. And Val Kilmer, I mean, what can I say? The movie is action-packed, touching, dramatic. There's some comedy in there. And it has everything. And it's done so right that I picked Top Gun Maverick as the movie of the year. And I know I'm being a little bit out there. And for comedy, it's a no-brainer. It has to be Jackass 4. Why Jackass 4? Because it's a movie you could throw on and watch, and if you have a sense of humor, you're never ever going to get bored of the hijinks and the stupidity. You can watch it, and that's my favorite one, even though Bam Margera's not in it. And yes, it's gross, it's crazy, it's off the wall, but you know what? You will never get tired of watching it. And I'm sure that there's honorable mentions, but I haven't compiled a list yet, guys. But there would be one. It would be, like I said, Violent Night, which takes all your Christmas movies, your Home Alone, Die Hard, Die Hard 2, chops them in a blender and gives you a ridiculous fantasy where Santa Claus fights not terrorists, but home invaders at a rich compound, and it's a hybrid of John Wick meets every other Christmas movie you ever grew up with, and it's amazing. Violent as hell, bloody as crap, and fun as shit to watch. And I recommend it, and it's probably not going to win any awards, but David Harbour and John Leguizamo and Beverly D'Angelo really are amazing. The rest of the cast I can't say because I don't know them that well, but it was a very fun movie to do. And on that note, I hope everybody has a happy new year, and I hope next year we have a better year. And if you have Shudder, you might want to check out Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge. It's a little bit of a goofy take on the Saw movies, and if you saw the first Scare Package, you know you can't take it seriously. I watched it the other weekend, and it was very, very... I dug it because it poked fun at all these different horror movie setups and cliches, and it was great. And if you get it, it was awesome. So Scare Package 2. Check it out. on that note, GW, it's about 4:30 in the morning. So I'm going to go up and get some coffee. Like I said, I've been up since 2. I don't even know. But I want everybody to have a happy and safe New Year. And hopefully we get to do it all again. And hopefully this year, 2023, will be a much better year than 2022. Happy New Year.